I read the banned Book of Enoch, and here's what shocked me. Have you ever wondered why certain books were kept out of the Bible? What secrets were so dangerous they needed to be hidden from the masses? The Book of Enoch might be the most fascinating example of forbidden religious literature in history. This ancient Jewish text was once widely read and respected, even quoted in the New Testament. Yet it was systematically excluded from most biblical canons and effectively banned for over 1,000 years. After reading this mysterious text myself, I discovered why religious authorities might have been so determined to keep it away from ordinary believers. The Book of Enoch contains some of the most mind-bending, reality-shattering concepts ever put to parchment. It tells a cosmic story that challenges everything we think we know about angels, humanity, and the very nature of good and evil. What I found in these ancient pages didn't just surprise me, it fundamentally altered my understanding of spiritual history. Before we dive into the shocking revelations, we need to understand what the Book of Enoch actually is. This ancient text is attributed to Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah, who according to Genesis walked with God and was no more, for God took him. This cryptic biblical reference suggests Enoch never actually died but was taken directly to heaven, making him one of only 2 people in the Bible to escape death, alongside the prophet Elijah. The Book of Enoch expands on this brief mention, describing in vivid detail how Enoch was taken on a cosmic journey through the heavens, shown the secrets of the universe, and entrusted with divine knowledge to share with humanity. The text was likely composed between the 3rd century BCE and the 1st century CE, and it was highly influential in Jewish and early Christian communities. What makes this book so controversial begins with a strange passage in Genesis chapter 6. The Bible briefly mentions that the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were beautiful, and they took wives for themselves. These mysterious beings produced offspring called the Nephilim, described as the mighty men who were of old, the men of renown. The Bible then quickly moves on to Noah and the flood, leaving readers with more questions than answers. The Book of Enoch takes this cryptic passage and expands it into an epic cosmic drama. According to Enoch, these sons of God were actually a group of 200 angels called the Watchers, led by an angel named Shemyaza. They were originally assigned to observe humanity from the heavens, but as they watched, they began to desire human women. What shocked me was the deliberate nature of their rebellion. The text describes how Shemyaza gathered the other angels and proposed a plan to descend to earth. He expressed concern that he might be left alone to bear the punishment for this transgression. But the others swore a binding oath to follow through with the plan together. This wasn't a momentary lapse in judgment, it was a calculated cosmic rebellion. The Watchers descended to earth, took human wives, and produced hybrid offspring, the Nephilim, while Genesis merely calls them mighty men and heroes of renown. Enoch portrays them as monstrous giants who consumed all of humanity's resources before turning to cannibalism, devouring humans, animals, and eventually each other. The text claims the earth itself cried out in agony under the weight of their corruption. But here comes the truly shocking part, the part that likely got this book banned. According to Enoch, the Watchers' greatest crime wasn't lust or producing hybrid offspring. Their most unforgivable sin was sharing forbidden knowledge with humanity. The book provides a detailed list of the specific arts that these rebel angels taught to humans. An angel named Azazel taught metallurgy, how to forge weapons, tools, and jewelry. Shemyaza taught the use of roots and herbs for medicine and enchantments. Other angels taught astronomy, astrology, and even the art of writing. Stop and think about that for a moment. According to this ancient text, the knowledge that forms the very foundation of human civilization, metalworking, medicine, astronomy, writing, came not from divine blessing but from rebellious angels. And this knowledge transfer was portrayed not as enlightenment but as corruption. This is where the Book of Enoch becomes truly subversive. It presents a cosmic narrative where the pursuit of knowledge itself is criminalized. The text suggests that humanity was never meant to possess these technologies and sciences, that we were supposed to remain in a more primitive, innocent state. The punishment for this knowledge transfer was severe. God sent the archangel Raphael to bind Azazel hand and foot and cast him into darkness, imprisoned in a desert beneath rough and jagged rocks, until the day of judgment. The other Watchers were similarly imprisoned in various cosmic dungeons, and of course, the hybrid Nephilim and corrupted humanity were wiped out in the Great Flood, a complete reset of creation. As I read this account, I couldn't help but notice the striking parallel to another ancient myth, the story of Prometheus from Greek mythology. Prometheus was a titan who stole fire from the gods and gave it to humanity, enabling civilization. For this act of compassion, Zeus had him chained to a rock where an eagle would eat his liver every day for eternity. Both stories feature divine beings punished for giving forbidden knowledge to humanity. Both depict a supreme deity who wants to keep certain technologies and sciences away from humans. And both show the terrible price paid by those who defy this cosmic order. This parallel raises a profound question. Is the Book of Enoch telling us the story from the perspective of Zeus rather than Prometheus? Are we meant to see the Watchers as villains, or could they be viewed as tragic heroes who sacrificed themselves to elevate humanity? The text itself leaves no ambiguity. It portrays the Watchers as criminals whose actions nearly destroyed creation. But reading between the lines, I found myself wondering if this might be the ultimate case of history being written by the victors. Another shocking aspect of the Book of Enoch is its detailed description of the cosmic prison system. Enoch himself is taken on a guided tour of the universe, shown the mechanical precision of creation with its gates and pathways for celestial bodies. But then he's shown the divine dungeons where rebellious angels and even disobedient stars are held captive. In one poignant scene, the imprisoned Watchers see Enoch ascending through the heavens and beg him to intercede on their behalf. Enoch agrees and drafts a petition for mercy, which he presents to God. The response is absolute rejection. There will be no forgiveness for the Watchers. Their punishment is eternal. This cosmic tour serves a clear purpose within the narrative. Enoch becomes an eyewitness to the consequences of rebellion. He returns to Earth able to testify firsthand about the horrors that await those who seek forbidden knowledge or challenge divine authority. The implications of this story are profound. It suggests that the pursuit of certain kinds of knowledge is not just discouraged but cosmically criminalized. It creates a framework where obedience and acceptance of limitations are virtuous, while curiosity and the desire for advancement are sinful. This perspective helps explain why religious authorities might have been uncomfortable with the Book of Enoch, not because it contains falsehoods, but because it reveals too explicitly the control mechanisms embedded in certain religious narratives. It makes visible what is usually kept implicit. There's another interpretation of the Book of Enoch that comes from an unexpected source, the Gnostic tradition. The Gnostics were early mystical Christians, whose ideas were deemed so heretical that their texts were systematically destroyed by the Orthodox Church. For Gnostics, the material world isn't the creation of a perfect, loving God, but a flawed prison created by a lesser, often malevolent entity called the Demiurge. They believed that humans contain a divine spark trapped in flesh, suffering from cosmic amnesia about our true origins. Salvation comes not from faith or obedience, but from gnosis, direct, experiential knowledge that awakens us to our true nature. From a Gnostic perspective, the entire narrative of Enoch flips. The God who jealously guards heavenly secrets and punishes those who share knowledge becomes the Demiurge, the cosmic jailer. The Watchers transform from villains into liberators, breaking into the prison to deliver the gnosis humanity needs for freedom. In this reading, the Great Flood becomes not a righteous cleansing but a desperate act of suppression, the prison warden drowning a rebellion before it spreads. It's a frantic attempt to reset creation and maintain control over humanity. This Gnostic interpretation reveals the Book of Enoch as potentially anti-Gnostic propaganda. It takes the Gnostic value of knowledge and rebrands it as the original sin that brought the world to ruin. The message becomes clear. Do not seek knowledge outside approved channels. Do not listen to those who promise enlightenment. The world was destroyed last time. Stay obedient and fear the light. What makes the Book of Enoch so powerful and dangerous is that it can be read both ways. On the surface, it's a cautionary tale about the dangers of overreaching, of humans trying to become like gods. But beneath that, it contains the seeds of a liberation narrative, a story about divine beings who sacrificed everything to free humanity from ignorance. This ambiguity might be why the text was ultimately excluded from most biblical canons. It's too easy to read against the grain, to sympathize with the rebels rather than the authority. The story of the serpent in Eden offering the fruit of knowledge is brief and heavily moralized. The story of the Watchers is expansive and complex enough to invite alternative readings. So what does all this mean for us today? Are the Nephilim just monsters in an ancient banned book, or do they represent something deeper about human potential? The word Nephilim is often translated as the fallen ones. They were hybrids of heaven and earth, spirit and flesh. In a metaphorical sense, this describes the human condition perfectly. We are material beings with spiritual awareness, creatures of earth who look to the stars. Genesis called them the mighty men who were of old, the men of renown. Perhaps this is our potential to combine the material and spiritual, to build civilizations and seek knowledge, to become beings of power and wisdom. The Book of Enoch presents us with two competing narratives about human potential. The orthodox reading tells us that we are small and inherently sinful, that knowledge is dangerous, and that our potential must be limited and controlled by higher authority for our own good. The subversive reading suggests that knowledge is our birthright, that our divine spark is real, and that the forbidden fire of enlightenment is not something to be feared, but something to be reclaimed. Which story we choose to believe has profound implications for how we live. Do we accept limitations placed upon us, or do we reach for the knowledge of the stars? Do we fear our potential, or do we embrace it? The Book of Enoch was banned not because it was false, but because it was dangerous. It reveals too much about the cosmic architecture of control. It makes explicit what is usually kept hidden, that certain kinds of knowledge have been systematically branded as sinful and forbidden. By reading this ancient text today, we participate in a form of rebellion. We peek behind the curtain of authorized history and glimpse alternative possibilities. We consider that perhaps the greatest sin isn't disobedience, but the suppression of human potential. The most shocking thing about the Book of Enoch isn't what it says about angels or giants or cosmic prisons. The most shocking thing is what it reveals about USA, about our capacity for knowledge, our hunger for freedom, and our potential for transformation. Whether you see the Watchers as villains or heroes ultimately depends on how you see yourself. Are you a being who needs protection from dangerous knowledge? Or are you a divine spark seeking to remember your true nature and potential? The Book of Enoch doesn't answer these questions for us. It simply presents the cosmic drama and invites us to choose our place within it. And perhaps that's why it was banned, because the most dangerous books aren't those that tell us what to think, but those that force us to think for ourselves. The choice between these competing narratives isn't just academic, it's deeply personal and profoundly spiritual. It's about how we understand our place in the cosmos and our relationship to knowledge itself. In the end, the most shocking revelation in the Book of Enoch might be that the battle it describes between control and freedom, between authorized knowledge and forbidden wisdoms, still being fought today, not in the heavens, but in the human heart and mind. And that might be the most dangerous idea of all. This journey of questioning ancient narratives and reclaiming our personal power is at the very heart of everything I do. If you're ready to explore more forbidden histories and learn how to write your own spiritual story, you'll find the link to my books in the description below. Thank you for watching.